and a dish.
On 702.
14 minutes to 6 on 702 Drive. It's that time when we get to know somebody who's done all sorts of remarkable things in a kind of different way. We ask them to pick a book that has inspired them. Music comes into the conversation, and there's always food they love eating, and perhaps memories that the food stirs up. My guest has done an extraordinary range of things. He's been a star on television. He's starred in movies as well. He's made music, some of which was part of your life as Kwaito unfolded as a phenomenon in South Africa. And then he's done stuff in the community as well, getting involved in a range of issues, HIV, AIDS, and many others as well. He is, as you know him, Zola 7, and he's with us in our studio in Johannesburg. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you with us. Before there was Zola 7...
Congratulations, by the way, you got me on Friday.
Oh, okay.
That never happens.
Okay, that's very good. I'm delighted.
Hey, Tada.
So before there was you as Papa Action in Yizo, before there was all your music, there was a small boy.
Yes.
Bonginkosi Dlamini, growing up in Zola. Tell me this, I mean, at what age did you start feeling that you could sing, that you could perform, that you could do the things you ended up doing in your adult life?
I was always the nuisance in the house.
Okay.
Yeah. I was always singing and always performing. I did long before I even knew that there was such a thing even called theater. And I think everything that we saw on TV would just imitate. Even Stu Mo's Good is nice.
Yes.
You know, and then before I kind of like really blew up and say, okay, now people are calling me a superstar. I had one or two little jobs that I had on TV.
Yes.
With a lady called Hanley Kruger. She owned a company called Comet Film Productions. So I came there as a little boy trainee. Do you know those things back in the days when we used to get jobs during holidays? You know, work at a grocery shop or something. There was even a part when you do your English test where they say, ask your local grocery guy to give you a job for your holidays, and that added results in your English test and your Zulu test.
Yes.
So I got a job on a television company, and my job was to get the audience, the younger audience, in Soweto, and so I'd organize the kumbis. Get about 60 kids
that's
to come.
quite a task.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'd choose a high school, two high schools, get the kids. I mean, my age back then. Get them into kumbis and then take them to a studio. I think at some point we were shooting at Sasani Studios, and they'll be catered for food, and they'll be part of a television show.
Out near Balfour Park. Eh?
Yes, yeah. I think Pule was and Mukopo were presenters of the show. It was called Take 5. And then in the afternoon, I'd then take them home. That was just my job.
So you're in this world.
Yeah.
Are you saying to anybody or giving them some clues that, hey, I can do some of this stuff?
Yes, I'm screaming as a kid. I'm like, hey, look at me.
Yeah,
I'm
put
here.
me up there.
Yeah, I can do this. Then one day they decided to shoot a show called Teta Box, from Making a Mistake. That's when they gave me a try as a co-presenter. Yeah. So It went down pretty well. I thought I was going to have that job forever, but then again, it got canned. The thing of canning shows was just
that's showbiz, eh?
Yeah, to happen. And then I did another kids show. I don't remember his name. I was playing a character called Jimmy. And then after that, it got quiet for a very, 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 very long time. I was just doing auditions, and it got to a point where I was failing auditions professionally. I knew that I'm going there to fail, and then I'm gonna come back home, get into the shack, and cry.
What was happening with you in music? I mean, for example, in primary school, high school, are you in choirs? I don't know if there were school plays and stuff like that. But let's stick to the music. What music are you hearing in your home life or in the community where you live? And how's that starting to work in your head where you're saying, okay, I can also make music and not just take it in?
Back then, I mean, I'm hearing Stimela, you know, I'm hearing Brenda Fassie, I'm hearing Chico. There was a group before that, I don't know where it ended. It was called Harare.
Yes.
You know, that's music that
was Hot Sticks Mabuse.
Yes, Hot Sticks Mabuse, and those were the kind of music that we were listening to, because every uncle was playing that. Yes. There's a whole lot of Shirley Browns.
Yes.
And a whole lot of American music that like it was a home thing. When you woke up on Saturday, you're going to hear this music and you hear it all the way until Sunday. Before even South African gospel actually caught up,
Yes.
we were listening to Shirley Caesar.
Yizo.
Yes.
Papa Action. An incredible series. You had a huge part in it.
Yo.
How big was that in shaping what you would go on to do?
That for me was a smack reality in the face that this is happening and it's scary and it's a huge monster and you need to tame it. But we're working with Angus Gibson, Tebogo Mahlasi, and Desiree McCraft. So what they did is that because the scripts come in English, so they told us to just, guys, have fun. Play with it. Use whatever diction that you think you can use as long as it's not offensive. So the delivery, the content-wise, was actually easy for us, and then the acting also became very easy because we were not told to go line for line as it was. It would have driven us crazy.
So it was a structure. Almost.
Yeah, it was a structure, and then you free flow with it as you mold yourself into this character and you gel with the character, and that character has to gel with other characters as well. So we got in a smarter way, shall I say, into television, and it became huge. I mean, geez, I'm still a kid.
Yes.
And I still have to go home, and my friends are talking to me differently.
Yes. And strangers are looking at you differently,
yes.
I would think. Yes.
I'm trying to understand this celebrity thing. What the hell is going on here? And then I get exposed to a world of other people who have long been in the game. The older generation, the smarter generation, the people who've gone and burnt and come back and burnt again and stuff. And those were people who would have the right conversations with us. Musically, I was in the same house with POC.
Yeah.
You know, and so POC guys are extremely strict.
Yes.
Extremely clean inside out, you know. And they also practice Islam as well, I think half of them. So I was exposed to those kind of people in my very early years.
Prophets of the City.
Yeah, Prophets of the City.
Yeah. So let's go to your book, because your book is a very reflective one. I'm going to read the title. And then you'll tell us why you chose to share it with us. The author is Dr. Teresa J. Covert. I don't know if she's Covert, but Covert. But here's the title, and it's a long one. The Covert Narcissist, Recognizing the Most Dangerous, Subtle Form of Narcissism and Recovering from Emotionally Abusive Relationships. Your book, your story.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I went through one chapter of that book. I met an old white man up my street who was going through hell, and he was sitting outside and it was raining, and he had this book, and he said, Zola, you need to read this book one of these days. And then he showed me a chapter, and it was exactly page 7, chapter 7.
Right.
And it speaks about how abuse can be so normal, and you can just get used to it, and you can make excuses for somebody who's abusing you.
Yes.
You know, and I think to a wider aspect, we, us as South Africans as well, have just gotten used to abuse as a nation, you know, and we've gotten used to it instead of putting it in line. So, but this is talking to a person on an individual basis. And I was kicking myself on how come I didn't think and write this book before this person wrote it? Because, you know, I would have gone the black version of it, you know, and talked about other things, where I come from and how I grew up and the relationships that I've been through. And then I made a promise to myself that I'm going to take some time and read this book. I don't want this audio thing. I want a physical copy. So I got the copy. It's sitting there at home. But it's eye-opening when they say a person will incapacitate you. The one phrase says it, and then after they've done incapacitating you, they'll find somebody else to incapacitate. So once you see the signs earlier that you are actually in danger, the red flags are up, or you should really be considering packing your bags and leaving instead of getting used to abuse.
Yeah.
Yes. In some societies, in some countries, abuse is just perfectly normal. I mean, we live in a continent where people just grow up in civil wars, and this is normal because they know nothing else.
I have to ask you about the dish. We asked you for your favorite meal, and you said the cow. So, the whole cow?
The whole cow!
What's your favorite way to eat meat, and what kind of chef are you?
I think now that I've lived most of my life away from home, I'm probably universal because I've eaten just about everything, and I find it very weird how they refer to certain foods in third world countries as bizarre food. You know, the food that could actually be saving people. You know, Chinese stuff, you know, Japanese stuff, the food that we ate originally as Africans before our food got colonized. And now it has got shows on TV where it's called bizarre foods, you know, which is a very derogatory. But what I wanted to talk to you about the cow, there's a certain way that we dissect a cow. There's a certain way that we slaughter a cow. There's certain meat that is eaten by certain ages in terms of the hierarchy.
Right.
And certain sexes as well. Right, and certain statuses within the family or the village. And for an example, the neck, what we call is clant, it may not be eaten by young boys. It's widely believed that it carries some kind of testosterone. You know, so how the meat is dissected at the butchery or at the abattoir, and how we dissect meat at home when we slaughter, ours has got crazy politics in it.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have to have a whole other conversation about that. I know that my colleague Rilebogile had a brilliant show about that, but we'll pick up on it again. Finally, we've got to do music,
Yes.
and you've picked, I think, one of your own tracks.
Yes.
How did you do that? Because we'll get the music going underneath. I mean, you've singled out a child as a favorite, and I'm wondering how your other songs feel. But what is you picked Mbube? Tell us why.
Well, I mean, you nurture the last born. And everybody in the house must understand that there's a last born now. The last born exists and everybody must come in and help. So Mbube is my last born song, right? Because I dropped it this year. And I cheated when I picked it, but there's a conversation about it. Because Mbube is a lion also in a hierarchy of lions.
Right.
It's the father, it's the male.
Yeah.
He's got certain duties. And we also refer to our kings as Mbube. Our kings as Mbube as well. You know, so there's also different versions of my song that have happened throughout time from apartheid coming up to now. And the ones in apartheid have actually got hidden messages because they were actually kind of like struggle songs. They were sung by migrant workers.
Yeah.
I mean, being a migrant worker in your own country is actually very weird because I was born in Transvaal. I was not born in Gauteng. So my parents then were actually migrant workers coming from KwaZulu-Natal into what was then called Transvaal. So these were songs that they were singing in remembrance of home, but the subliminal text was that we are being oppressed here.
Wow, so many things to talk about, so little time, but thank you so much, Zola 7, for sharing with us
Thank you
your
very much.
song, your book, and your dish. Let's enjoy it. Mbube.
News,
Experts,
analysis,
where things stand
what you need to know. Drive home with John Perlman.
on 702.